What's up? This is Dwayne Morgan, and you're inside the Thinkblot with my man SK. Thinkblot is an avenue, let's say. I'm going to take you down a path. Okay, I'm going to take you down multiple paths, whether it be music, whether it be art, whether it be poetry, whether it be acting, modeling, stylists, business professionals. Mayor Ford, I'm coming for you. This is episode 1. This episode we have Dwayne Morgan, great friend, great person, great poet, publisher, author, father. He's a wonderful individual. I want to talk to those guys. I want to talk to you guys. I want you guys to vibe with me. You know, we got Ill here. We got it sitting in the PHS studios. We got, you know, TQ here, G-Vine somewhere. Everybody's doing something. We're just going to let it all out. You coming? Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy SK. We inside the Thinkblot. It's the first episode with my friend and my man, Dwayne Morgan. He's a wonderful person, wonderful poet, and he's actually recently released a book called Her Favorite Shoes. I'm telling you, it's a great read, a lot of great poetry. Dwayne, question. What really makes your heart beat in terms of poetry?
You know, I think it's a matter of being able to find a story that just connects with a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's a matter of finding that human piece of the story that even if you've never experienced something, you still see yourself in that story, and it's that thing that connects people.
Has anybody tried to, throughout your career, limit you? Tried to say, you know what, I don't think you should do this?
You know, I can't even say that they were trying to limit me. I think a lot of times, you know, people are like, well, it's impossible to do this as a living. You can't just be a poet. When are you going to get a real job? You know, all these kinds of things, because people don't have a concept of you being able to do this one thing and living a life off of it. So, you know, I can't really say that they were trying to limit me. I think a lot of people were limited in their thinking in terms of what one can do and what one can achieve. And I mean, people are always amazed by what it is that I've managed to do and achieve, you know, with poetry over the course of my career. But I can't really say, I think it would be unfair to say that they tried to limit me. I think, you know, it came out of a genuine place. They were trying to be caring. They were trying to look out for me. They didn't want me to be delusional and be like, oh, I'm going to do this thing, and then see my heart broken and my world collapse and that sort of thing. So I think it came from a really good place. But, you know, a lot of people just don't know the fire that I have inside of me and the motivation that I have inside of me. And if I say I'm going to do something, just consider it done. Because once I say it's going to be done, it might as well be finished.
That's good, man. One of your biggest successes is the International Toronto Poetry Slam. Also, When Brothers Speak and When Sisters Speak, other great shows. Now, I know tonight you're going to do The Last Poet Standing. Great concept, all right? What's your excitement for that show? Like, this is a brand new event for you.
Well, I mean, it's always exciting when you do something brand new. I mean, this is my first brand new show in about 3 years. It's been about 3 years since I last created a specific show.
Okay.
And, you know, this one is exciting because it's just so different from the other things that I've done. For those people who don't know, the show's happening in a boxing ring. There's 16 poets that have to go head to head, you know, against each other. There's $500 up for grabs for the winner.
Right.
You know, Cardinal Official, Maestro, Melanie Durant are all going to be sitting at ringside judging, you know, these poets. So it's going to be something that, you know, Toronto's never really seen or experienced before. So anytime you can give birth to something that didn't exist before, and people are excited to see what this thing is, there's always, you know, an excitement for me. Like, I don't even know, I'm sleep deprived right now, and I'm just going on adrenaline, but it's just one of those things where I'm just so excited to just give this to the city and to give this to people.
When it comes to, you know, her favorite shoes, what inspired this book?
This one was really, it has a lot of relationship stuff in it, especially the first half of the book. And, you know, I was just at a point in my life where, you know, relationships were just very important. That I was just watching, you know, things with my grandparents, my parents, my own relationships, you know, becoming a father and all these different things. And I just realized that, you know, everybody thinks that, you know, politics and these social issues are the biggest issues of the day. But I think that, you know, there's nobody exists without relationships with other people, whatever those relationships are. So I wanted to have a book that really just kind of started looking at, you know, some of the complexities of the relationships we find ourselves in.
What do you find is one of the biggest, you know, downfalls in a relationship today?
Well, I think ego management is big, and that also ties in with needs. You know what I mean? And sometimes we feel that our own needs are more important than the other person's needs, kind of thing, and we just think that, you know, we're more important, or we need this before we do that, and it just becomes this thing where it's like a to-do list or a checklist where it's like, well, if they do this, I do this. And I believe that, you know, in order for something to truly work in any kind of relationship, it has to be based on giving. You have to just unconditional, just be willing to give, with the hope that the other person is going to return. But it shouldn't be conditional. The minute you put conditions onto things, then you start going on a downward spiral.
That's true. That's very true. Have you ever thought about quitting?
Yeah, you know, you think about quitting, you know, pretty often, because it's like, you know, a lot of times you do these things and you don't know if anybody even cares or if what you're doing is actually making, you know, any kind of sense. But what I've done is I have a file that I keep of, you know, all the positive emails that people have sent to me. And, you know, on those days when I feel like quitting, I just open up that file and just read, you know, what my life and what my career has meant to people. And that always just re-energizes me to keep going, because, again, you realize that it's not just about me, but it's about, you know, the universe or God working through me to do other things. And, you know, if I quit, there's probably, you know, somebody who needed to hear something through me that is not going to hear it, and I don't know what's going to happen in their life if they don't hear that certain thing. So I have to keep being, you know, a vessel that things work through in order to help and reach whoever I'm supposed to help and reach.
I like that. I really like that. In your downtime, what do you do? What's your favorite board game? I love Taboo.
All right, favorite board game, we'll start there, is Monopoly. Don't get to play it as often as I'd like. But
it's a long game.
It's a long game, yeah, that's very true. I mean, that or Connect 4, if that's considered a board game, but, you know, my sister and I always have a little Connect 4 battle when we can.
You inside the THINKblot. My man, Dwayne Morgan, came down, shed a little light on who he is. I hope you guys enjoyed everything we talked about today. You need to check him out. Dwayne Morgan is at Dwayne_Morgan.
Yes.
For your Twitter. Follow him on Facebook. Just flood his email with positivity. Get at him. Buy his books. Her Favorite Shoes is a great read. I'm telling you. Pick it up.
Thanks, man.
No problem, man.
I saw her. She was one of the many downtown girls, sticking out amongst the crowd like trees growing out of cement. Stiletto heels accentuated shapely legs that were chiseled by the gods and seemed to go on for an eternity. The hem of her skirt had the man in me, hoping that she would bend ever so slightly so that I might see a glimpse of the femininity she so teasingly kept hidden. A lot of time and effort went into this plan to seek attention, and mine was hers. So I guess her plan worked as I surveyed her curves. Her shirt revealed her midriff and the navel ring that glistened with the street lights. Her breasts were ample and youthful, causing a stoppage of traffic like stop signs. And it really didn't matter if she had a mind, because she was all out there, looking fine from head to toe. But it wasn't until I got close that I noticed her eyes. dull and speaking encyclopedia volumes. It was in them that the true story was being told. Before me stood an empty mold, a woman more comfortable in her clothes than in her own skin, a vacant shell, using her body to divert attention from the hurt and the pain that she feels inside. And I don't know, maybe her daddy didn't love her enough. Maybe he loved her too much. Maybe it was a midnight touch from an uncle or a brother, or the hard hand of a lover. Or maybe it was just a regular guy like me, too shallow to see past her present to her possibility, never nurturing her inner beauty, so it stays hidden like family secrets. Or maybe it was the sweet words from a mother that never came that was the source of her pain. I don't know, but I could tell that it was something deep, buried carelessly like dust under a rug. And I can see it, feel it, read it in her eyes. And part of me feels guilty for doing nothing but shaking my head and walking by. But I've come to realize that in this life, we'll see many crumble and fall. And even if we save one, we'll never rescue them all.
Thank you, sir. Inside of THINKblot with SK. Don't talk to strangers, but you can talk to me. Peace.